Have you ever wondered where electricity comes from? It's like magic, right? Imagine a world without it. No lights, no gadgets, no internet. But how does it all work? Flip a switch and your lights turn on. It's so simple, yet so fascinating. Well, it's not magic, but it's super cool science. Behind every light bulb, there's a story of innovation and discovery. Some of that electricity comes from nuclear power plants. These plants are marvels of modern engineering. They're like giant batteries that make energy, enough to power entire cities. Imagine the energy needed to light up a whole city. It's incredible. And guess what? They do it all without making any smoke. That's right, no pollution, just clean energy. Want to know how these amazing power plants work? It's a fascinating process that starts with tiny particles. Get ready to learn about atoms, fission, and the awesome power of nuclear energy. It's a journey into the heart of science where we unlock the secrets of the universe to power our world. Everything in the world, from you to your toys to the air you breathe, is made up of tiny things called atoms. These atoms are the building blocks of everything around us, forming the very essence of our existence. They're so small you can't even see them, even with a microscope. Imagine trying to see something 1,000,000 times smaller than the width of a human hair. That's how minuscule atoms are. But even though they're tiny, atoms have a tremendous amount of energy stored inside them. This energy is what holds the atom together and can be released under certain conditions. Think of an atom like a popcorn kernel. It's small and doesn't seem like much, right? But there's more to it than meets the eye. When you heat it up, something amazing happens. The kernel bursts open, releasing a burst of energy and transforming into fluffy, delicious popcorn. This is a simple example of how energy can be stored and then released in a dramatic way. That's kind of what happens in a nuclear power plant. But instead of heat, we use something called nuclear fission to release the energy inside atoms. In nuclear fission, the nucleus of an atom is split into smaller parts, releasing a huge amount of energy that can be used to generate electricity. So next time you see something tiny, remember that it might just be mighty too. Fission sounds complicated, but it just means splitting. It's a process where the nucleus of an atom is divided into two or more smaller nuclei, along with a few neutrons and a large amount of energy. In a nuclear power plant, we split atoms apart to release their energy. This energy is harnessed to generate electricity that powers our homes, schools, and businesses. We do this by firing a tiny neutron, even smaller than an atom, at a uranium atom. Uranium is a heavy element that is particularly good at undergoing fission. When the neutron hits the uranium, it splits it apart, releasing energy and more neutrons. This process is incredibly powerful and releases a significant amount of energy in the form of heat. These new neutrons go on to hit other uranium atoms, and those atoms split too, creating a chain reaction. This chain reaction is what makes nuclear fission so effective for energy production. All this splitting releases a tremendous amount of heat, which we use to make electricity. The heat generated from fission is used to produce steam, which then drives turbines connected to generators, ultimately producing electricity. This process is efficient and can generate large amounts of power from a relatively small amount of fuel. Section 4, from atom to electricity. Remember that heat we talked about? Well, that heat turns water into steam, just like when you boil water on the stove. This steam is really powerful and it spins giant turbines like giant windmills. As the turbines spin, they power generators, which are like giant magnets that create electricity. And just like that, the energy from those tiny atoms is transformed into the electricity that powers our homes, schools, and everything around us. Section 5, safe and clean energy. Nuclear power plants are designed to be super safe. They have lots of safety features and are carefully monitored by scientists and engineers. Plus, nuclear power plants don't release any harmful greenhouse gases into the air, which is great for our planet. That means they help keep the air clean and combat climate change. So not only are they powerful, but they're also good for the environment. Section 6. The future is now. Nuclear power is a fascinating and important source of energy. It shows us how even the tiniest things can contain incredible power. As scientists and engineers continue to innovate, nuclear power has the potential to play an even bigger role in creating a cleaner and more sustainable future for everyone. So keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep that love of science alive. You never know what amazing discoveries are waiting just around the corner.